eat.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand to your feet and make noise for Gresh Unleashed!
Let's go! When the club go around here, I'm a cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. Gresh Unleashed, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days I'm running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Yellow, you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like Gresh Unleashed.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh Unleashed podcast. This is episode 87 of the show that brings you the good vibes to the best of our abilities. Joining you as always is the voice that does the most, the purveyor of mischief, Gresh. And joining me as always is my main man, my right-hand man, the voice of the Unleashed anthem himself, and the Prince of Botch, if you will, none other than Mr. Hi-Lite. Real, what's good with you, brother? I got you on mute. You are good to go.
Hey, hola. You know, aloha.
Hola, como está usted?
You know, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Orale, Holmes.
You know, konnichiwa. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? That's what we here. We here. You know what I'm saying? What's up, good peoples? Bang, 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 bang. Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang, gang.
We in here. What's happening, y'all? How y'all feeling? Hope everybody had a productive weekend. And yeah, man. Let's get
My
it.
weekend, I met my bloodline on my granddaddy's side, so that's a plus.
Oh, to the roots, I see. Okay, all right, brother.
So when I put on social media where I was like, I addressed it on Lala's show on Monday, which you guys should be checking out, by the way. Oh shit, here we go again, wherever you listen to your podcast. I basically was offline because I was out there in Greensboro. Like our family roots is down all the way down there, and Greensboro is no internet.
Woo, you was in the country. Okay.
In the country with the hillbillies. Like that's when I tell people I am a southern boy, west side raised, but I got country boy strength. Mm-hmm. I'm not lying. One thing about being a country boy is like you can be born in the South, but you cannot teach country. Like that's a bloodline thing. Like you got to have some deep roots in the country. And I got some deep roots in the country. So my country boy strength is legit. I got to keep it up to date, but it's legit.
I agree, bro.
But yeah, it was a family reunion, and like I said on Lala's show, yeah, I can't say no relations when it comes to Jonathan Gresham. That's the direct bloodline. His cousin, his father is my grandfather's first cousin.
Really? You found that out?
He walked right into the family reunion, so yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You ninjas is related after all, so you can't get on nobody now for literally. Oh my goodness!
I can only get on people for confusing us. He doesn't have hair, and I have hair, but other than that, yeah, I can't say nothing.
Wow.
But
I mean,
like
you did say you wouldn't be surprised if y'all was related. You did.
When I saw him walking, I was like, oh shit. And I looked at my sister. She's like, "Who's that?" I said, that's Jonathan. He's a wrestler." And you didn't tell me? No, because I didn't know we were related. Because it's like in my mind, it's like there's a lot of people who has my last name, but we don't have any direct blood, like immediate blood. Like we probably do have some blood, but like immediate blood, we don't have the same blood. So it's like, oh okay, but I'm like, oh yeah, you are bloodline.
It makes sense now.
And like I told Lala, I was like, someone asked me, it's like, so what you gonna do now? Nothing. I don't want like you know how there's some people out there who be vultures, who be like, oh, I'm related to somebody in wrestling, so I'm going to use that as a entering point. Mm-mm. Nothing will change.
I was like, we related, and that's that.
That's that, and it's that type of thing where it's like, unless it's brought up, I ain't gonna say nothing.
There it is.
But yeah, I had to. Other than that, my weekend was pretty. It was eventful. Like I like learning about my history, because when my when my mom told me my grandfather and great grandfather was Rolling Stones, I was like, I believe you. And the way that family reunion is, and a lot of people were directly related to us, I'm like, yeah, them niggas are Rolling Stones. But other than that, how's your weekend? How was your weekend for the people who didn't catch a drift of your weekend, my boy?
Yeah, no. I mean, we was solid, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, we just kicked it, really. You know, nothing too eventful. You know, shout out to my Unity Tour fam that was out there in Arkansas. I didn't get a chance to be a part of that, but I was. It was like one of those rare resting weekends. You know what I'm saying? Where you actually just didn't have to do nothing but chill. You know, so pretty laid back, y'all. But we did release a mixtape last Friday, so make sure y'all holler at your boy on YouTube and go peep that. You know what I'm saying? So head to my YouTube /Hi-Lite Real, HILITE Real. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all been going crazy with the likes and the comments, so keep commenting, keep viewing, keep liking, all that good stuff, man. And that's really it. Other than that, man, I was playing Jane, man. I was chilling, big chilling.
Killing it like a villain. Yeah, you already know. But for those of you who don't really know what's going on, but this is pretty much your next hour and some change of some good vibes here from your boys over here representing the Freepedia family, as well as the Gresh League podcast. So you already know we got a lot to talk about. We got All Out this past weekend. It was polarizing, to say the very least. We got some remnants of Raw. We're going to be talking about how Raw is going to be changing times as far as like how long they're going to go come October. We're going to be talking about, what else we going to be talking about? We're going to talk about some football, because you already know football is back. So you already know we're going to be talking about that, chopping up with the fam and all that good stuff. So you know for sure, we got some stuff to talk about. Even betting odds for Bad Blood. So it's going to be a solid hour and some change for you guys. So we're not going to waste none of you guys' more time or our time. And we're going to get right into it. So chop it up with the fam. You already know we are here to pretty much talk about any and everything that goes on in the world of sports, entertainment, professional wrestling. Doesn't matter. Let's talk about it. What you want to talk about first?
Man, that's a good question, my guy. I guess we can go into the
that Super Bowl announcement.
Super Bowl announcement, bro. Yeah,
K-Dot.
That's a good start. We're gonna have millions and almost half the world around us literally singing "They Not Like Us." Somewhere, ladies and gentlemen, Drake is literally in his feelings now, asking Kiki, "Do you really still love me?" Probably not. Those headlines are all over you, my friend. You are literally. You and every pedophile out there are finna be complete fans.
That was a catchy song, though. I ain't gonna hold you.
You know.
It was kind of catchy. I'm not finna just downplay this. Like, I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but I'm not finna say he ain't had no hits. But as far as Dot taking the Super Bowl, what cracks me up is like everybody started crashing out online. Young Money, everybody was just losing their mind.
Yeah, I understand it because it's in New Orleans this year. So, you know, that was Lil Wayne's. He actually had been campaigning about that since probably last year when they officially announced it, that it was going to be there. And he was like, it would be a dream to actually, like, if he was going to do it, it would have been a dream to do it in his hometown of New Orleans. You know, and it made sense. You know, I mean, I ain't going to hold you. Like, I slick kind of forgot that it was in New Orleans because I got so hyped about the Kendrick thing that I was like, oh yeah, dang, that means no Lil Wayne. But you see, here's the thing. Kendrick's the type of guy, he probably would bring Wayne on the stage to do at least some type of set.
Doesn't he respect Wayne?
I'm sure he does. Like, whatever beef he got with Drake ain't got nothing to do with Wayne. Wayne just put the man on. That's all he did. That's it. That ain't got nothing to do with Wayne. You know what I'm saying? And again, what better way to throw some salt at Drake than, I'm going to do something you ain't done. I'm going to perform at a Super Bowl, and I'm going to bring the man that brought you on and discovered you, I'm going to bring him on the stage and let him do a little set, Master P and them would have been good too, but I don't know if we'll ever necessarily get that per se.
I feel like, because if you look at the selection process, Jay-Z and them give a short list. I'm pretty sure Wayne was probably on the list, probably wasn't. I don't know. I've never seen the list. And they give it for a vote. And the hosting city, it makes the final call. So a lot of people are blaming like Jay-Z and all these people, but it's like, if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at New Orleans because they chose Kendrick over Wayne.
Yeah.
And it's also, a lot of people have to look at it like this. They're looking at numbers. They're looking at long-standing traction. We're not going to sit here and act like Kendrick didn't just do massive numbers on that pop-out concert he did a couple months ago.
Yeah, bro.
That's what they're looking at.
That song is still in reels, TikToks, memes, streams. It's everywhere, okay?
This show...
Freaky ass niggas need to stay their ass inside.
So
they not like us. Like I said, bro, at the end of the day,
it's a popularity contest at the end of the day, because let's be real, when Rihanna got on, a lot of people was buzzing about her possibly coming back to music. When Usher got on, he was still in the height of his Las Vegas residency. And a lot of people, he was getting traction online. Like, a lot of people gotta understand the Super Bowl is literally meant to be just, it's a popularity contest. It's 15 minutes of the greatest hits, and we're not finna sit here and act like Kendrick ain't got no hits outside of the beef.
Facts. He's got tons, man. He can give you a whole show, and some of you were probably like, well, he did it in L.A. Yeah, that wasn't really his set, though. That was Dr. Dre. He just popped up because Dre wanted him there. This is like his actual set now. He gets to show his range of hits that he has had. So just sit back, relax. New Orleans is going to be a vibe. And like I said, Kendrick's the kind of person that shows love like that, to where just don't be surprised. You'll probably still see Wayne at the halftime show.
I'm pretty sure he's on he's one thing about Kendrick, he don't do social media unless he's promoting something, but he's not oblivious. He wouldn't be successful if he was oblivious, or if he was half-assing everything. He knows what's going on. I guarantee you he's going to do a New Orleans themed tribute to some of the top talent that came through New Orleans. Calm down, Nikki. Birdman, calm down. And Birdman keep putting stuff on Gladys. It's like, bro, Gladys is tired of you putting stuff on her. Stop. Calm down. You are too old.
Too old.
Bro, you was probably alive during the Underground Railroad. Stop.
Yeah, it's in a nutshell, it should be a fun vibe, bro. I'm looking forward to it when we get to it. Who's there for that Super Bowl? We'll find out in time. But right now,
that's another thing. Football just started. We got like months before the Super Bowl. Why is this an argument? Why is this a debate?
Because they wanted it to be that. You know, they strategically had to announce that just so you could get those. No matter who they announced, bro, they could have said Tony Braxton. They could have said anybody.
They could
And
have
they
said
still,
a hologram of Michael Jackson. People would still been talking about it.
oh yeah, yeah, they would have found something.
So,
Something. So you know, you just.
I'm put it this way. At the end of the day, when it's time for the halftime of the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be tuned in. I'm gonna turn my speakers up, and it's gonna be we gonna turn our speakers up. It's gonna be a party. Like 9 out of 10, we're gonna be in the same room when the Super Bowl happens. So it's like, brother.
Shout out to the Super Bowl also not missing on halftime shows within the last 5-6 years now.
For the past 4 years, it's been black people.
Yeah. You see what it is.
Dre, Usher, Rihanna, and now Dot.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, man. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Anything interesting happen on Raw before we move on to other stuff?
You know what's funny? I hate to be that guy tonight, y'all. It's been such a crazy week work-wise for your boy. So for me,
don't worry about it.
I saw Raw, but I didn't I saw it because it was on, but I was literally occupied, so I didn't listen.
Don't worry, brother. I was just asking. I got you covered. It's all good. It's all good.
Catch me up, brother. Catch me up.
So we basically are setting up, continuing to set up the Judgment Day versus the Terror Twins and Jey Uso. So the Terror Twins got one up again. They basically set up. We're gonna definitely talk about it during the betting odds. They basically set up Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for Bad Blood, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the world title at Bad Blood, and we got the announcement of CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood,
which we call.
So we're taking that W there, and we're gonna be close. We're gonna be at ring. We're gonna be in the building to actually see it unfold. So that will. Have
you ever witnessed the Hell in a Cell live? I don't think I ever have.
I don't think I've witnessed Last Man Standing, the typical. I don't even think I've witnessed a steel cage yet.
I have witnessed some steel cages in person.
Have the shows that we've been to had any steel cages in it?
No, actually, no.
I've witnessed a couple of ladder matches.
Yeah, we have witnessed ladder matches. Yep.
Damn, that's crazy. So this will be
we've seen
kind of
people
cool.
go through flaming.
Hopefully,
tables.
it's not red.
I doubt it, bro. I don't think. Yeah, it's gonna be classic.
Hopefully, go back to the silver. Because wasn't it silver when it was Edge versus Finn, or was it red too?
I thought it was purple.
Shit, it probably was purple. Man. At this point, it was whatever color the rainbow. It was a color, but it wasn't the original. So hopefully, it's original, and hopefully they restore the feeling. We're definitely gonna talk about that when we get to the Bad Blood section. Gunther telling Bret Hart to his face that Bill Goldberg was his favorite.
I heard about that. Leave it to him to say some savage-ish like that. And you know, it's funny because when I was listening to people talk about it, they said they thought at first he was going to say Shawn Michaels was my favorite.
Because I feel like everybody's saying it. That's why he didn't say it. When you think about it, everybody always say Shawn Michaels was my favorite out of him and Bret. So it was a nice little juke that he was like, okay, yeah. I like Goldberg. Even though you could tell this man did not mean this genuinely. You could tell him as a wrestler and a man despises Bill Goldberg because he bust out laughing. Like, not bust out laughing, but you could tell he was holding back a laugh immediately.
Oh, he didn't mean it. Nah. I wouldn't mind old Bill coming back just for him to chop the hell out of Bill.
Or he could stay away. Either way.
Yeah, you're right. He might beat him. Never mind.
He might try to win that world title. So I'm like, or he could just stay away though.
If Vacant was booking this, he definitely would. But anyways,
speaking of
what else?
Speaking of, I think DJ is down to doing a review of that documentary.
We can do that. We can do that.
I told him to wait until all the parts are released and just do one big review as opposed to weekly or a part. I mean, hopefully they release it all at once so we can just do it and be one and done with it. Because it's Netflix. Because Netflix like to drop stuff.
They usually They usually do that. Because when Kanye had that documentary that he did, I want to say that was in parts, and that was all released at the same time. I think
Okay.
so. Yeah, it should be. It should be pretty straight.
Okay. So, but other than that, yeah, Raw was pretty. Oh, we had the Wyatt Six versus the American Made in a street fight.
And so I gotta rewatch it. That was like I was watching it. I just didn't have the audio on, but I saw some of the craziness going on during that match and was like, oh, you know. So
But
was the
I've been
crowd
seeing-
into it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot of people with this debate, and this is mainly Facebook, so we barely take them serious. But some people were not really a fan of the Wyatt Six not being the supernatural and showing vulnerability. How do you stand on that? Like, do you feel like they should go the full supernatural route, or what we've already been saying, like they should not do what they did with the Fiend?
No, yeah, the natural human is universal. Like a lot of people love that. I mean,
So they're going to the cult route with this
Yeah.
one. So it's like they're not really supernatural, if that makes sense.
no, yeah, I mean they're the forgotten. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
they're making a purpose to let you know, like, if you're forgotten, you can be with us.
And
be
if you were
remembered.
betrayed by your family, we got your back.
Yeah, like they let them be human. The fact is, you do realize you can be supernatural as a human in terms of, oh, I don't know, Mick Foley. You just take a lot of punishment and you go through it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Foley wasn't a supernatural character, but he didn't stop his body from acting like it with all the crap he went through. So it's like, hey, let them be vulnerable and show some hurt and pain and welcome it for that matter because they like it.
Oh, Fatal Forward was good too. So yeah, I just had to get your thoughts on that because I agree with that. Like, just stick to what y'all been doing in the 6 man in the I think it was a 6-man or a mixed tag. It was everybody but Uncle Howdy, whose
I did
wig
see
was about to
that.
go on for whose wig was about to go on for business for himself again. Like, brother, just either not dye it, either use like that temporary spray to where it's gray, or just dye it, or just get an actual full on wig when you're not wrestling, because it's like, bro, that thing went over his head and you saw his real hair, and I'm like, and he don't have black hair to where it looks like it connects. Like, his hair is brown, so you see Bo's real hair. When he did, like, he was taunting, he was like, and the hair just went into his face, and he was like, I was like, brother.
Well, at least they did good to keep this in a mid-card situation. Oh, these sound effects. Oh, boy.
But other than that, Raw was pretty standard for the most part. Oh, they're talking about making Raw 2 hours starting October 7th and all the way into the final year. So it'll be from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 10 p.m. instead of 11. Now, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Because I love it because I get to go to bed at 10 as opposed to 11.
Yes.
Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I've been saying this since we went 3 hours. It's a struggle to get to that 11 o'clock. Even if in this current incarnation with Triple H, it's still a struggle to get your bruh through 11 o'clock.
For me personally, it never bothered me with the 3 hours like it did most people, but that didn't mean that I loved it all the time, of course, because if the show was a little trash and dragged, then it was like, man, we still going on with this show? But, like, if the show is, like, really, really good, mostly from, like, top to bottom, of course with some moments you don't care about in between, but if it's mostly a really good show, the 3 hour thing ain't too bad. But I'm so happy it is back to 2 hours because now we're going to get that, dang, I want some more feeling like we do with SmackDown when SmackDown was good. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm excited.
This is a test, though, because it's like, I think the thing with Netflix is they can do the 3 hours, but I feel like seeing this as a streaming service, they can be more flexible. So like they could go 3 hours some weeks or not go 3 hours. They can go like 2.5. This is just me speculating. This is not me saying this is confirmed. And I also would not be surprised if with SmackDown on USA, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes 3 hours for the random occasion.
I did hear or see something about. I thought they said something about SmackDown being 3 hours for their premiere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
This coming Friday, 3 hours?
I think so. Now, again, I don't know how true that is. If somebody in the chat knows if that's confirmed or not, let me know, because I'm just going off something I somewhat saw. And I was like, oh, SmackDown? 3 hours? Really? Can they do that? Do they have enough people for that over there? You know, because in my mind, I'm like, there ain't too many stories that you invested in for SmackDown to be 3 hours. But they're saying that because apparently there's going to be like a lot of special guests coming through too. Like legends and stuff like that. I know.
All right.
I know, bro. I know.
3 hours on a Friday is... 3 hours on a Friday is better than 3 hours on a Monday for some reason, because it's like it's the end of the week.
True. It's not as bad.
Ain't gonna guarantee that I'm gonna still be awake, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I be crashing some Friday nights because I be so tired because I have long days. I'm realistic. I'm not dedicated. My life is not dedicated to wrestling like most of y'all. So
you're going right into the weekend. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm interested. And honestly, whatever, long as it's like, whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours, long as the shows are good, I don't care.
I agree.
But nostalgia-wise, 2 hours Raw, give me. I thought they were going to do 9 to 11, like the old days, but they said 8 to 10. So it was like, yeah, we're just going to give you that.
Oh, yeah. That did used to be... it
was like 9 to 11:05. Remember those days? Like,
yeah, I remember. Because SmackDown was always the one that was like 8 to 10, which is
right at 10.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be cool. But I like that because it's nostalgic. So you're right. That's I'll take it.
Yeah, so I'm cool with that.
But yeah, man. Salute to, rest in peace to the 3 hour mark then, if that be the case. Oh man. But
now we're gonna take a little mini break from talking about wrestling, and we'll switch our courses to football. My favorite time of year. Yeah, buddy. So, before we get into football roundup with this week, did you want to, because I know we put in our show notes, do you want to talk about that situation with Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, man. Not gonna lie, man. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys saw that video if you're football fans. Even if you're not football fans, I'm sure that video probably surfaced a lot online from the time the body cam footage got released. And all I can really say is both parties were basically in the wrong. Because in Tyreek Hill's case, it was like, you don't tell an officer, like, hey, bro, don't knock on my window like that. You know what I'm saying? And then roll your window down, roll your window up, kind of refuse to give them your idea. Some of the stuff, because we already, it's a broken record for us. You know, we already know how we're treated when it comes to that. I haven't had, I'm lying. I've had some run-ins with cops before. But in terms of, for me, the irony it was always when I was walking more so than driving. Anytime I've driven and been pulled over, I've complied, and 9 times out of 10, the cops were cool. Because not every cop is bad. Obviously, there's really cool and really good cops out there. Some of y'all are probably related to some or just know some directly, whatever. But, like, when I look at what happened to him, the thing that just continues to anger me and us is the fact that it's like the excessive force, regardless of how Tyreek may have stood his ground and acted, it's the fact that dude and them felt like they had to pull him out of his car. You already got him in handcuffs. You're throwing him to the ground, face down like that. You got an officer coming up from behind and trying to put him in a little stranglehold like that. Dude's literally telling you like, hey, bro, I just had surgery on my knee. You know what I'm saying? Like, that that kind of stuff is like irking and it's like an ick. You see what I mean? So it's like, bro, I don't know, man. It's one of them things, man. It wasn't cool to really see, but both parties were kind of in the wrong. More so the officers in terms of how they decided to do that excessive force and the fact that there's so much videos around it. But Tyreek also deserves just a little bit of blame, more so just in the fact of how he chose to act towards those officers. Because, as Shannon Sharp kind of mentioned, if you just make it your goal to make sure you get to where you were headed. I know you had a game to get to and you were running late. But instead of just trying to rush it and be like, hey, man, give me your ticket, do what you got to do. You should have been like, yes, sir, no, sir. Let him go and do what he do and give you your ticket and then you just go your way, he go his, and that's that. Because then when you cause them to come in like a pack of dogs like that, now all of a sudden, like he said, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill?
Oh, you be in jail for the whole week.
Jail, probably killed. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of the things that was kind of just like, in so many ways. And shout out to his teammates, though. The ones that were there that just pulled up to make sure he was good, despite those cops trying to even use excessive forces with them when they literally weren't armed, had their hands up, didn't do anything, was just trying to check on their teammate and make sure they could de-escalate as best as they could. And sometimes this is where I'm like, do cops have too much power? Do citizens not have enough power when it comes to these type of things? Like, if we see one of our own people getting harassed like that and suddenly we're trying to stop it, but then they're like, hey, no, sit down. Like, hold up, bruh. We ain't doing nothing wrong. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Those are always kind of weird to me.
Oh, no. No, that's honestly, that's a justified feeling. Like, it's like, that is a good question. Like, what if he was somebody else? Like, that rings through your head. Then when you see it, that do get you upset, especially if you're just a regular. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or a regular civilian. I feel like cops they need more training to handle these types of situations. Like, if you got anger problems, you should not be on the field.
Exactly. I know you got to have like a certain toughness and awareness in that field because you can't be a pushover.
Right.
But at the same time.
But if you can't read the room or you can't control yourself to where your pride, you can't check your pride at the door, you in the wrong field, buddy. You need to be at a desk. You need to be stocking shelves. You need to be delivering my DoorDash, something. But you don't need to be no cop if you got that type of lack of self-control. And like, yes, he was cocky. I mean, I get it. He was being him. Like, let's be real. Like, we don't know what we would do in certain situations. Like, we could tell you a million times, hey, talk this way, act this way. But when you get in that situation, you never know. Me, I automatically go into yes, sir, no, sir, because I want to make sure I get home to my family. Mm-hmm. In his case, it's more so like, okay, he got a little lucky because of who he is. If he wasn't him, he probably would not have gotten to that game. He would not have gotten home to his family. Mm-hmm. But, hey, man, I agree with you. Like, both were wrong in certain aspects, but at the end of the day, something needs to change, and it's more so like we need to, honestly, like you saw me talking about the debate at the top of before we went live. We need to get out and vote and make some change to where this stuff can be taken care of the proper way, because destroying shit doesn't work. Tweeting about it doesn't work. Actually getting out and making sure stuff actually changes works. So,
facts, bro. But on a positive note, though, my boy is a rookie in fantasy football, so I must ask you, sir. We in the same league, so I need to know, man, how did you do this week, man?
Oh, I lost. I lost.
You lost. Hold on. Who you got on your team, brother?
Buddy, I lost.
What? Okay. Who did you have on your team first and foremost?
Let me see. Can I pull it up? Because I got like a 93.48.
That's week one's always tricky. It's usually duds. in week 1. So that's normal.
So for some reason, my QB, I thought I was gonna pick Tua, but I didn't because I was impatient, and I picked somebody else as my QB. I picked I picked Lawrence as my QB.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, he's spotty. He's a little spotty.
Yeah, so I feel like that kind of hurt me a little bit, and my wide receiver being Metcalf.
Oh, McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Wait, he a running back?
Yeah, he's one of my running backs.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't play. So you had him. Oh. Don't worry, DJ felt that same thing.
So a lot of people that I picked did not play. And the ones that I have as my backup, because I have Tua as my backup. Mm-hmm. And he played. But it didn't matter because he wasn't my main quarterback.
So look, I'm gonna tell you now, bro. Make that switch going into this week.
Yes.
Make Tua your starter.
Yes.
And let Trevor Lawrence just be your backup for when Tua's on his bye week. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's all you do. Now sometimes if you see that Tua's up against a really good defense and Trevor Lawrence is up against a weaker one, then make that swap. Yeah, that's the only time you do that.
I got to play around with fantasy because I could never figure out how to swap people. So I have to play around with that.
Oh, so usually for Yahoo, what you're supposed to do is you just go where it says team, and then you click on it. You just tap it, and it should just pull up.
Oh, my team?
Team? It's like my team. And then what you do is you'll click on Trevor Lawrence, and then it should just show your bench, and then you click on Tua, and it moves him up to your starter. Yeah, it's just a simple little click, and then it switches them around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that way you can switch out whoever you want. And remember, flex is always either a wide receiver or a running back, my brother. Go either way. Most people go running back.
Yeah, you said flex. Yeah, this week he was my wide receiver.
Okay. So yeah, depending on the wide receiver, that's pretty straight. You can throw a tight end in there too if you got good tight ends, but unless you got like Travis Kelce or Isaiah Likely, stuff like that, just keep your tight end at your tight end.
Now, when I was drafting too, I was kind of going based off of numbers. I didn't really see a lot of these players because I ain't gonna lie to you, I just started back getting into football last year, so it's kind of like I have to watch these people now before I vote. So I feel like next year when we do draft again, I'll be more seasoned, if you will, alert to kind of know how these players, because I've been watching everybody this past week. Yes, the only one I did not watch was my Dolphins because I was offline for like 10 hours. Right when and I got online right when they made that comeback against the Tony Khan's Jaguars.
Yep.
So
you
Tony,
got the win, brother.
So Tony, you may have had a good all out pay-per-view, but I got the win this weekend. So I am going to take that W. It was a nice comeback, and it's what we gonna do. That's all it is, and that's all it's gonna be.
Hey man, I'm happy for you. I wish I could say the same, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? God dang Chicago. It's all good. At least I won in my fantasy though.
So you may be 1-0 in fantasy and 0-1 in real life. But I'm one. Like we both on the same field. It's like I'm 1-0 in real life. You 0-1. I'm 0-1 in fantasy.
Let me tell you the funniest thing about fantasy sometimes. When you're a rookie, let's say you forgot to edit your lineup, and let's say you sometimes fantasy is so weird, you can mess around and everybody in your lineup without you even adjusting it just goes crazy and you win, and it was like, dang, I won, I didn't even make any adjustments. And you're like, oh, I won. You know, I've seen that happen.
In my case, I was almost winning and then said no.
Monday got you, but CMC, he'll be back. When he comes back, you'll be straight, brother.
I was like, you son of a bitch. But then we got Thursday. We got Thursday football. According to my watch list, because I got it's gonna be the Bills versus the Dolphins on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Rivalry on top of things. You know what I'm saying?
So that's gonna be in the background for me to really keep my eye on, and hopefully everybody come on the A game. But what about your team?
Well, like I said, man, we took an unfortunate loss to the Chicago Bears, but the rookie Caleb Williams, who had a lot of hype, our defense looked really good, man. He only threw for like 92 yards and he had no touchdowns. So we definitely did our thing on that end. Unfortunately, though, the offense needs a little work right now. It's just week 1, so I'm not in like a panic, but it's cool. We got old man Aaron Rodgers up next, and those Jets. Now the Jets got a good defense, so I ain't gonna lie, the offense may struggle again this week because the Jets defense pretty good. But we at home, so let's see. Maybe it's gonna be different at home. We'll see. You know what I mean?
The Falcons was at home and they lost.
I called that. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. I really did. I knew it was gonna happen. The same old. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. I know you got it. They can't catch a break, man. They can't catch a break. It's just
not when I'm around. And see, I can't blame me for what y'all can't blame me for watching, because a lot of their fans came at me talking about, oh my God, we lost because you kept watching and you praying on our downfall. I did not watch y'all. I did not watch y'all at all. So you are your own enemy. You're at fault. It is your fault. Not mine. Yeah. It's your fault that you suck. You can't blame nobody but you.
The funny thing is they actually don't, because they actually have a really good team.
No, I know.
That's what's so funny. It's like, Kurt, man, you got a quarterback fresh off an Achilles injury. He ain't looking right now. So it's just 1 week.
You gotta give him more warm ups.
Yeah, they didn't really let him practice much throughout the training camp, which was kind of a mistake, but I understand the caution. You want him to make sure he gets all the rest. But we'll see what happens this week. I think they got the I forgot who they're playing this week.
Who, the Falcons?
Yeah, I forgot who they're supposed to play this week.
They're playing the Buccaneers.
Ooh, that's a division one. That's going to be very tough for them. Well, best of luck to you, ATL.
At least they ain't playing the 49ers. That's the Seahawks.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, Brian.
Oh, yeah, he is always big on it. Oh, Seth Rollins, man. You know what? You were happy. Your Bears got that dub, but don't get too happy, my friend. Trust me. They ain't going nowhere. But anyways.
He said the Falcons and Cowboys going to screw themselves every time. Exactly. It's not even the players' fault. That's my gripe. It don't ever be the players' fault. It be the coaches. They be making some stupid decisions every time. And I'm like, I'm not even a fan of y'all, and I'm watching. I'm like, bro, why did you do this?
Bro, believe me, I understand it.
I may be a rookie and playing and taking football serious, but damn, I know enough to know when you make some stupid decisions. I play Madden.
For real. 100%. Me too, brother. Me too. Yeah. But I'm excited, man. Shout out to fantasy. Shout out to my boy getting in the fantasy game this year for the first time. It does help you invest in football a lot more because, like you said, you start to learn about players more often. And you start watching them, then you're watching the team. Then you realize, like, oh, okay, that defense is for real. Oh, okay, this offense is, like, one of the best. Bet. Okay, now I got an idea of people I want to get going into next year. And you also know, when it comes to the injury bug, who to stay away from. So,
yeah, because, like, in my case, it's like, surprisingly, I didn't draft anybody who was injured. So, that's a plus.
May that stay with you the entire season, because trust me, it always hits. When you start to see that little cue, you get nervous. You're like, oh no,
all right. You're like, oh fuck. But I actually do this because it's like, yes, I make my jokes about Falcons and all this stuff, but it's like I want to take them serious like every other team. Like I'll make my jokes, but best believe the jokes stop at a certain point to where I'm like, oh okay, they're locked in. Now, I ain't going to jump on no bandwagon. I can say that. Like, if my team take an L, then it is what it is. I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon and say, oh, good for the Falcons. I'll admit like, okay, their defense got them here or their offense got them here. That's where I will admit. But as far as me rejoining y'all, no,
No.
y'all got it. Y'all got it. We are not doing that. But what we are doing, we're going. Speaking of the Seahawks, we're gonna recap AEW All Out 2024 briefly before we get into our betting odds and then move on with something else. But what was your thoughts on All Out? All Out, because I know you watched it
For sure.
with me. Had to watch it 3 times because I kept falling asleep the first 2 times because it was the weekend and I was
Yeah, nah, facts, bro. It was basically a glorified, as you mentioned, and a lot of people mentioned. Shout out to, we just talked about Kendrick Lamar earlier. This was the biggest Euphoria show. If Euphoria was a pay per view, this was very much Kendrick Lamar's Euphoria come to life. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate, you know what I'm saying?
I hate the way that you sneak this. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct. I hate the bitch you fuck.
I hate the way you say nigga. I'm just, all this stuff. It was just one big old hate fest this entire show.
We don't want to hear you say nigga no more. We don't want to hear you say nigga no more. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think the weakest match for me probably was Mercedes versus Sheeta.
I had the same thought. You could maybe make an argument for the Young Bucks tag match, maybe.
Honestly, that was probably the weakest match. The reason why I say because I personally just didn't care.
Fair.
It literally turned into background noise as soon as their music played, and I just like, don't ask me what happened in the match because I'm like,
yeah,
3 times I still didn't watch it.
At least with Mercedes and them, I heard I didn't really notice it at first, but I heard I'm gonna go back and watch the match, but I heard it got really stiff in ways of like receipt type stiff, like, this what we doing? Oh, all right then. Bow, like, ooh, ow.
You saw how Mercedes finished the match with her wig all messed up, so you can tell she was pissed.
Exactly. That's why I was like, oh, all right, it got stiff, and I like the stiff style. So for me personally, that's one of my favorite styles. I like when it gets a little stiff. It has a realistic element to it. You know what I mean? So it's really cool when you see that strong style anyway. But yeah, man. I was almost gonna say that last year's was better, which I think it was from top to bottom speaking, but like this one's better in terms of the fact that it just depends on what you like. Like if you like gruesome and you like violence and you like straight up hardcore, then this All Out is better than last year's All Out. But if you're a wrestling purist, then last year's All Out was probably better than this one because it wasn't as gruesome.
Yeah.
But they both were still really good in their own ways. You know what I mean? So,
right.
And shout out to Danny Garcia finally getting his fetish on and actually completing the mission. He finished his story.
My only gripe with that is like, if MJF was going to reportedly leave to film a movie, why didn't you just give Danny the win?
I don't know. But a lot of people said that even with him winning, Danny still looked strong and still looked like he didn't look like a loser, because he walked away doing exactly what he said he was going to do, So clearly there'll be another match when he decides to come back, and when that happens, they'll run it back, I guess, and hopefully he gets his win then. But I don't know.
Yeah, but the match was like, I enjoyed the intensity and the emotion wise from Daniel versus MJF. The Pac versus Will Ospreay match was fun too. Like one thing about it is like Will Ospreay's style of wrestling isn't for everybody. A lot of people don't mess with it, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah. And shout out to commentary. I was hearing them talk about this on another show when they said, commentary was mentioning like, hey, if it wasn't for a guy like Pac you wouldn't have the Will Ospreays of the world. You know, because you kind of forget Pac is pretty much an OG. I mean, he go back to the black and gold NXT days and beyond. So, like, you know, he when he was Neville, he was putting on a lot of bangers, and he's still very capable of doing those things. So, when they decide to use him,
The King of the Cruiserweights is my favorite.
Yes, bro, the best version of Pac, hands down. But I am the king of the cruiserweights. You know, like
It was the accent. It was the accent that was. I was like, bro, you were selling me on this.
Yeah, man. He was he was going in, and yeah, bro. And then they just ruined it with the Enzo thing, and it was like, well, that was random, you know. Yeah.
And then they took him off TV for however long they took him off. Like he was basically riding the contract.
For sure.
But what you think about the street fight? I loved it.
Ooh, my favorite match. Honestly, I'm still torn between that and the cage match, bro. Like, both of these, by far, are 1A, 1B. Because these ladies stole the show. And I'm so glad it went like this, because I know some people were saying that the feud kind of cooled off a bit with some of the comedy aspects of it from Stokely and all that. But the fact that this feud ended like this brought it back to reminding you of, on top of that video package, by the way, the video package was lovely. They're getting way better with their video packages for these feuds. And so for the video package to remind us of why they were feuding to begin with, and then to basically cover it with this, look at the shot, bro. That's insane.
She took
thumbtacks on the split, bro.
Thumbtacks on the thigh and the hoo-hoo.
Nigga. What? See, that's... Y'all, don't get me started, bro. You know what I was going to say and what I would say. You're doggone right. Perfect example. This is my version of classics. God dang it.
You want the 5-star matches?
Yeah.
You want the 20-minute matches?
Yeah.
Not me. Muscular women smacking me.
And Rhea Ripley agrees, ladies and gentlemen, so it ain't just me. Second. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love it, bro. I love it. No, these ladies. Go ahead, Gresh.
This was your death match. Like, you got light tubes, you had barbed wire bats, chains, everything. So it's like they were put in a spot where they had to follow up Will Ospreay and Pac. And I feel like they surpassed it.
Oh, they definitely did. Like I said, I mean, nothing else really matched this one until we got yeah, a moment kind of matched it.
Oh, yeah,
that was a moment after a match. But yeah, aside from that, the cage match is what lived up to this since. So yeah, bravo, ladies.
And speaking of that moment, we had Bryan Danielson retain the World Heavyweight Championship against Jack Perry. The match was fine.
It was cool. I saw the ending where, right there in that shot where Jack is like sacrificing himself on purpose. So I guess that's all a part of the scapegoat thing. So he was welcoming it.
He was like, I'm finna take this L, so let me go ahead and welcome it.
Yeah, that works for him doing that. It kind of gives the CM Punk vibe a little bit when he was sober society.
Oh, the straight edge savior.
Straight edge society. There we go. It's giving that vibe almost, sort of. But
which is ironic because they don't like each other.
Yeah, I know, right? But
Because he choked him a little bit.
It's a couple of moments. We're gonna get to that main moment that everybody talked about. But what about the moment before that moment? The little tease with Mr. Jungle Jackman Perry and Luchasaurus, because F a kill switch.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I thought that was very interesting because they had a nice little stare off for a brief moment.
My thing with Luchasaurus, I've given up on what they want to do with him because they love teasing something changing with him, and they never pull through. Because I mean, how long have they been teasing him breaking away from Christian?
Yeah, it's
Just for him to go right back to his side. I'm like, at this point, just don't tease it.
Yeah, I will agree. That has been annoying a little bit,
but as far as this, I feel like it was more of a callback to like, okay, remember this, like they're both on the same side now. Like at first, it was Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, who was still fighting a good fight, but now they're both technically on the same side as far as like they're both bad. Like, will we see a reunion on down the line? As like that was pretty much what I got from that. But
fair.
The match itself, like I didn't go in with no high expectations. Jungle Boy, the match was fine. Like I even interacted with people who was actually in the building, and they all agree with me. Most of them. You got your super fans of Jungle Boy, but then you got the ones who agree with me. I was like, it was fine for what it was. Mm-hmm. That's it. It was fine.
That's fast, bro. That's fast. Yeah, man. Now for the talking point that everybody some of you were disturbed, some of you were shocked, appalled.
Oh my God, I can't believe that they did this. I can't believe that they killed a man. I can't believe that this is murder. We got a whole "this is murder" chant on TV. But yeah, the BCC. I guess you just are they still the BCC?
Apparently not. I ain't getting that vibe because I was wondering that back when I saw Moxley and Marina Shafir doing what they were doing together, and I was like, so what does this mean exactly? You know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was, first of all, I get the people in the kayfabe like, oh, this is murder, but I was sitting there watching him like he's breathing. Like,
mm-hmm.
He's breathing. Chill. He's breathing. It's wrestling. It's still wrestling now.
He's breathing.
It got you, but I'm watching his stomach. I'm like, bro, he's literally breathing. It's fine. He's good. You know good and well, John Moxley.
Mox is pulling back, but Brian has a hole right there. Mm-hmm. He's breathing.
You can even see
they ripped it too easily.
Yeah, you can even see the fog. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you see it right there, bro. He got his breaths in. They knew what they were doing.
Oh my God! When I saw the reaction, I was like, oh damn. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, the genuine reaction I got from this was like, oh shit.
Yeah, me too.
And then the second reaction was John Moss has been watching too much Breaking Bad.
You know, I've never seen that show. Never.
Yeah, the main guy looks like John Moxley, but with glasses.
He do. Wow, he does. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's wild.
So yeah.
Huh. Okay.
But right. The reaction to this was hilarious to me. The reaction to everything from this moment on was just hilarious to me because I'm like, brother, they warned y'all how this was gonna go, and you still chose to watch. Motherfucker, that's your fault.
Hey. And then if that wasn't bad enough, well, ladies and gentlemen, it got worse. Because now we go lights out. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, whatever happens here, AEW does not feel responsible for. This is all unsanctioned. Well, okay, if it's so unsanctioned, why was social media uproar about a needle in a man's mouth? Did they not tell you this was totally not AEW's doing? This is literally our show's over. This is everything after the show.
My thing
That's on
is,
y'all.
with that needle, it did cause me to like, ugh, why? But then, did I lose sleep over it? No. Did I write paragraphs about it? No.
Center block. I
That did
bet
kind
all I
of
could think of.
like,
I was like, well, Gresh ain't taking that bump.
fuck no. Neither one of us.
Hell no.
Neither Gresh is taking that bump.
And I said, I was like, brother, I love you, and I don't care if it was kayfabe and we hated each other in so many ways that we went into a blood feud. There is no freaking way a brother is putting a needle in your mouth, putting you through a flaming table, center blocks, stapling pictures to your face. No. Who would do such a thing? Putting staples in your chest? No.
You can get back.
Not happening, brother. Not happening.
Dude was no selling the staples like crazy. Swerve. The entire presentation. Let me ask you, because I asked Lala this on her show. Did this live up to the Texas Death Match to you, or did it surpass it?
I think it did.
Or was it underwhelming? That's my third question.
No. Underwhelming. It definitely was not. These
no, I'm
two
talking about as far as compared to the two, not in general.
No, for sure.
Compared to the two, yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like even for that, in comparison, like still, I would say it's right on par with it, because they did some crazy stuff because I was like, what's crazier than drinking a man's blood? Well, clearly putting a needle in his mouth. So we thought there's nothing you could do to top that. Wrong. You thought? No. Instead of blood, I'm gonna put a whole injection right there. I'm like, ooh. Oh, and obviously straight up chair shots to the head, like it's the Attitude Era. That also, it was just like, ooh.
That caused an uproar. What is your stance on chair shots to the head at this point?
I kept seeing people say, Swerve, please don't have CTE. Please be okay. Please be okay. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Swerve is okay, and Hangman wouldn't just do that to do that. Like, he would. They're still professionals here, okay? So they're going to make sure they take care of each other. These two have been in death matches in the indies before. They know how to handle themselves. Do I always condone chair shots to the head? No. It's very nostalgic. It does remind me of those days when they did it. I don't mind it every blue moon if it's that personal. Cody took one to the head once, and we were like, good God, Cody. I mean, that was like, bow!
And they cut him.
Yeah. Badly. You know what I'm saying? So, when it does show itself, all right, cool. But
I don't lose sleep over it. It's like, at the end of the day, they're adults. They're trained athletes. If they want to take it, let them take it. Let them deal with the consequences afterwards. I'm not finna get an uproar. I'm not finna cause a riffraff for their decision to do anything in these matches for our entertainment. Like, if it's entertaining to you, bravo. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. If it's not entertaining to you, you can literally stop. You could have literally stopped the show at the main event when Bryan retained the world title, even before we got to Mox and the BCC turning on him.
Big facts, bro. And I gotta ask you, while you're on that very picture of Hangman, you on Twitter mentioned this is the look of a man that's like, what have I done? I'm paraphrasing when you said it, but explain to the people that may not have known what you meant by that.
So basically, the story that they've been trying to tell was Hangman was fighting the darkness. Like, Swerve was hell-bent on turning Hangman into a monster. At first, it was Swerve versus the position that Hangman was in. He wanted that position, and he went to depths that nobody should do. He crossed the threshold of another man's house. So you already knew immediately that was going to be, he's going dark. But Hangman was just fighting it. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why he did not win the Texas Death Match, outside of the interference, of course. But after losing that Texas Death Match and seeing people cheer for the man who pretty much violated his personal space, it drove him crazy to the point where he feels like he did nothing wrong. But then after a while, once you take one thing about it, if you are into folklore, once you have a taste of darkness, you want more. He had a taste of darkness, and once he finally accepted, because if you look at his entrance from All Out, he finally accepted that he's the bad guy in this story after burning down this man's house, and he entered through the heel tunnel. So he's finally accepted it. So he finally got his hands on this man, and then once he took him out, you can like pay attention to his mannerisms. He was like, he wanted to check on Swerve, but then he was like, "Nah, I'm too far gone." And then when he looked back at his carnage after knocking him out, he started slowly walking down the ramp, but then he stopped because he heard the reaction of everybody. Thought he was about to go back and go crazy. So he's like, "Damn, I am the monster. I am the monster now." So he fell to his knees and just let out a massive cry. I feel like that massive cry was the Hangman of old. Like he's crying like the old Hangman, the pure Hangman, because this man is not pure no more. This man is a monster now. He became he reached down to Swerve's level and he enjoyed himself and he's there now. This is a dark Hangman now.
Yeah.
Like I like the callback that he did with Magnum TA. Remember the spike? If you're a fan of the classic wrestling, this is a callback to that. He's a student of the game. Shout out to Lyric Wrestling for pointing that out because I didn't notice that at first, but then when she pointed it out, I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. But other than that, yeah, that's what I meant by that. Like he was basically his old self crept out, was like, what have I done? But he's finally accepted that he's evil now.
Yeah, I love that. I love that explanation. And for anyone who's a Marvel fan, basically, in a nutshell, it's like the symbiote took over his body in a sense. You know, it feeds off of your hatred. It finds something within you and it feeds off of that and it turns you into something you're basically not, because it needs a host to survive. So that is basically what this feud did to Mr. Hangman. It slowly affected him, and it eventually overtook him. And like you said, there you go. So that's just for my Marvel nerds out there that didn't already fully get that explanation. There you go. I'm interested.
I put out tweets all the time, but I always wait to Showtime to explain what I mean because interpretation and comprehension goes to die on social media.
It does. But I'm looking forward to seeing where his character arc goes from here. I'm pretty sure Swerve is going to be off TV for quite a while. Interested to see what he becomes when he comes back. Some people are suggesting that they should circle back around All Out in Texas and actually wrestle for the title, like in a just straight up wrestling match. No gimmicks.
How can you top that though?
The title.
Just the fact that it's just the title. Okay, because I'm about to say, how can you go backwards? Because y'all literally tried to kill each other, and then like, you know what, we're gonna have a standard match.
Because it's like, you know how like when people have such a rivalry and such a history that when it's just a basic match by that point, it's oh man, given the history these two have, this match is gonna be crazy as just a plain old straight wrestling match kind of thing.
Okay.
So they would still put on a classic just in a wrestling match. And it kind of goes back full circle to what you were saying before he was getting into the darkness of how the feud started to begin with anyway.
He wanted that position.
You imagine Hangman being back in the same position that Swerve now has had a taste of, said that he lost. Let's say he wins the AEW World Heavyweight Championship by the time of All Out. And then they revisit this story. Keep them far away from each other for a while, and then it kind of comes full circle. And then it's more like a mutual respect, because like you said, he's dark now. Swerve comes back kind of dark, and they're both looking at each other like out of a dark respect of like, okay, I see you found that level. I see you back. This is the Hangman that I wanted to face, that I said lost, himself, and I see. Based off what's around your shoulders right now, you found that guy again. Well, I say, let's go at it at All Out, one-on-one, no gimmicks, straight up for that championship. Because I said I want that back. He even looked in the camera and literally said, "I will get that back." Well, one perfect time and All Out next year. You know what I mean? So
Hey, I'm down with it. Like let's just hope Tony doesn't falter or any of that ordeal. But yeah, that's our thoughts on AEW All Out 2024. And before we give our top 10 SmackDown best worst moments of the Fox era and get up out of here, we're gonna give our brief betting odds for WWE Bad Blood 2024, the first event in quite some time under this name, headlined by Hell in a Cell, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Like, how do you feel like you see this one going?
you know, given that we there for the vibes, man. Honestly, I'm cool with however this decides to go because I know with the live experience, we just gonna be enjoying one hell of a match. But I heard a little theory. You know, how can you really, really spice this up? Now it's a bit extreme, but what if somehow AJ Lee finally does get involved here a little bit? It's such a long shot, I know, and people need to put this aside. But if you were gonna do it, wouldn't this be the match to do it in? Ideally. You know?
Ideally, but yeah.
But again, it's a big if. But I did say if I don't see that dog bite Drew McIntyre and AJ Lee kick this man in the nuts and slap him in the face, leading to some GTSs, what are we doing here? It's a whole bracelet. I don't know. But betting odds. I'm gonna assume. Oof, this is tough. I'm gonna guess that this is where Punk gets the 1-up.
The final 1-up as a final form of revenge.
Yeah, because technically Drew started this now. Because Punk was ready to move on. Drew, on the other hand, was just like, nah, nigga, we ain't moving on. So I'm assuming this now comes to where it's like this revolves around. Because when Drew won the first time at SummerSlam,
right,
that was him getting his revenge for everything that Punk pretty much did to him. Well, now... And then the second time was just like the rubber match, or you know, like, hey, Punk got to get his now, and he got his, and then he was ready to move on, and Drew was like, no. So, give me Punk to edge this one out, bro.
In this case, I feel like the same thing. I'm going the same route with you as far as, but I won't be surprised if they do something crazy spot wise. I'm not saying go off the top, but I won't be surprised if they climb halfway up and then take a back bump through the announce table.
Over under on that.
I see at least one back bump from the side of the cage, but definitely I see Punk getting that 1-up because Drew asked for this.
I'm gonna go the under route because it's never been Punk's style to do those type of things. You typically, and at his age and how fragile he kind of is, even though he's been healthy, he has been healthy lately. You gotta give him credit. But that kind of match, he might get re-injured again. So I'm going under on that one.
I just thought about that. Yeah. So, but I'm gonna stick with it. Like that's what I'm saying. Even if it ain't Punk, Drew can take it. So I feel like somebody's taking that bump.
For sure. Absolutely.
The next match we have is for the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan once again defending against Rhea Ripley. This feud is polarizing, to say the very least, when it comes to people's taste for it. I'm, for one, over it. As far as like the whole love triangle, bitter ex gimmick. I mean, I feel like it's rinse and repeat a little bit as far as like where they're going with it. And I feel like it's a case of they're dragging it out because it's LOL Triple H. But as far as this, if I had to go, I feel like Liv will retain with assistance from another person from Rhea's past. Maybe Raquel, maybe somebody else. Because Rhea's made quite a lot of enemies.
Yeah, I want to say the same because it feels like I mean, she's the babyface now, like you said, so she'll be on that chase for at least WrestleMania. And that doesn't necessarily mean winning the Royal Rumble, people. That doesn't necessarily have to happen.
She can win the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, that's more her speed anyway, if you think about it. She's into that kind of stuff. So, yes, she could easily win that, get to Mania, and win that title and have that big Mania pop. Because I doubt it'll be Survivor Series. That's going to be such focused on team war games type stuff. So, yeah, I'm with you, bro. Liv retains.
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, because that's what, because I know I've seen some people say, Raquel, but ain't nobody trying to say Raquel return. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't care. So there's that. The last match we have is Damian Priest versus Finn Balor.
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Eesh.
I feel like Finn needs to win. So I feel like they're gonna go with Finn taking the win because he has not been winning a lot.
Finn does need to win, but Damian's been more over now than when he had a championship. So it's kind of like, ooh, his momentum is gonna continue because at some point he is gonna want to go back after that title. So. I think I'm going to go to Damian around on this one.
Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand that with Damian too. Like if he does win, I wouldn't be mad at it if that makes sense. So,
sure,
but yeah, that is pretty much our betting odds for Bad Blood 2024. This is not like we said in the past. This is not our preview and predictions for Bad Blood. This is more so like where we see them going at this point in time as they're booking the show. We are like 3 weeks until Bad Blood, so we got some time before they make us change it. And then as stuff progress, if we feel the need to bring up the betting odds again, we'll bring it up into an update and tweak our betting odds. We have until the go home Raw to finalize our betting odds before we give our final preview and predictions, and then that's where we stand when it comes to that. Something different that we do over here so we can kind of like twist it up and shift it up instead of doing full reviews every single week. Now, before we get up out of here, we're going to give our top 10 SmackDown best and worst moments while they were on Fox. I went ahead and curated a list. We don't have to give a full details. I feel like some of these are self-explanatory. You got a number. It don't have to be specifically 10. It could be. That's why I just put best and worst because we probably have 4. We'll probably have 3. But I had to dig deep in my brain to come up with 10.
Man, oof. I mean, you got me, brother. Because Fox moments were up and down. It's mostly bloodline for me, really.
Yeah, my list is pretty much bloodline when it comes to the Fox era. For my best 5, I got the Rise of Main Event Jey Uso from 2020. Okay. I got The Rock joining the Bloodline 2024. Okay. I got Roman Reigns joining forces with Paul Heyman in 2020 because if you survived the Big Dog era, you knew how big of a deal that was because it was like, oh, they're finally going heel. Mm-hmm. Randy Orton returns to SmackDown in 2023 after his back injury. Like that felt like a good moment there. And the rise of Bianca Belair in 2021.
Yes. Okay. I like that. For me, with best, speaking of Bianca, I'm gonna just come off of that. I will say it's her rivalry with Bayley, including the obstacle course situation where she kind of crossed up the last woman.
Oh, you talking? That obstacle course where she carried Otis.
Where she carried Otis and she dunked on on Bayley a little bit, kind of crossed her over in one good time. That was a fun moment for what that was in that feud. That wasn't Fox, was it? with
No, it's fine.
NXT. No,
What?
NXT. When NXT invaded SmackDown.
That was 2019. Yeah, that was still Fox.
That was still Fox? So
Mhm.
then NXT, when NXT came and they basically did that takeover.
Yeah, that was at that November. Yeah, that was like a month in.
Yeah. When they got stuck, when the main roster got stuck over there in overseas in Saudi, and NXT took over that entire SmackDown because that was like black and gold on blue and white. That was cool. Plus, we got a match that we haven't even gotten in AEW and probably won't get at this point. We got Adam Cole versus Bryan Danielson. Just saying. That was a cult classic.
It was.
You know?
Like I might run it back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What was that? It was like a couple right there. So, obviously, Sami Zayn and his rivalry with Jackass, because I actually did kind of enjoy that. His heel run before it led to the bloodline was actually quite entertaining too, because he was very annoying. So it was like, all right. And then, yeah, speaking of which, Sammy not feeling very oozy. Making basically anytime he broke Solo in the bloodline, you know. Oh, and we can't forget Jacob Fatu's debut.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely a best moment on Fox, because that crowd ate that up the moment he popped up on that screen. And I was like, Jacob. You know, so
Hey man, I agree with that. So that was a nice way to close out Fox, too,
Sure.
the Fox era, because that was a couple of weeks before they finally made the switch to USA Network. As far as the worst though, it's a lot of worse. Trust me. So I had to narrow it down. Roman Reigns, the dog food.
Dang, that happened on
2019.
Fox, bro?
Yeah.
Oh,
2019. The end of 2019, right into 2020.
that's
Yep.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Retribution in general.
Oh,
That happened on SmackDown a couple of times. Jeff Hardy's drug test and feud with Sheamus in 2020. That was around the time when they was doing anything.
Yep.
This one maybe controversial to some people, but I really don't care. Carmella's heel run, where she had Reggie as a concierge in 2020. Outside of his interactions with Sasha Banks, I was not feeling it. So
Okay.
that's one of my worst. And number one, Brock Lesnar squashes Kofi Kingston in 7 seconds on the premiere of Fox 2019 for the WWE Championship.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
You got anything? Or you agree?
Exactly, no pop.
Let's see. To add to that, I'm trying to think of what I would add to that.
I feel like nothing tops that Brock and Kofi. I'm sorry.
No.
That pissed me off.
Right.
That pissed me off beyond belief, to the point where I'm like, yo, y'all really dead? Like, nobody believed
Oh.
Kofi was beating Brock. But, like, bro, you could at least have him cook a little bit. Shit.
I got some more best moments though. How can I forget? Bum ass Baron Corbin. That was hilarious. He made that work. Worst moment though, Happy Corbin. And Madcap Moss, really.
Yeah, that whole last couple of months of vacant was just
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
If it wasn't bloodline related, wow.
Let's see. Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the Street Profits win some tag team gold on SmackDown?
Or was it the title swap?
Oh, there we go. Put that in worse.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch's awkward moment of realistic hate when it came to that awkward ass title switch.
We out here talking about All Out being Euphoria. That whole segment was Euphoria.
Oof, boy, that was awkward. Oh, and I can't forget Shane O'Mac's best in the world.
Exactly, no pop.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man. Hopefully you guys can continue the conversation. We are now moving on to SmackDown on USA Network, starting this Friday with the season premiere with Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa inside of a steel cage for the Undisputed WWE Championship. We will see how SmackDown goes, but that was some of our best and worst moments of SmackDown on Fox. And that was our show, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. We are pretty much on the road to 100 episodes. We're reaching that number 97. Hopefully you guys enjoyed everything. To answer the question, did AEW go too far with the outcome of Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page and the way the BCC turned on Bryan Danielson? No, because they warned you. Let it go. It is what it is. But what you got going on before we get up out of here, brother?
Man, you already know, bro. Catch us at Bad Blood, October 5th. We'll be there live, hanging, mobbing, chilling, cooling. If you see us, say hey. Just don't be weird. But yeah, we there. You already know, September, if you're in the New York area, catch your boy at the end of the month, man. September 27th. I'll be in the building, man. Also, as we mentioned earlier in the show, drop the mixtape. If you're on YouTube, go show some love to that thing, man. Appreciate y'all so much for that. And, yeah, man, just follow all things OTS Media Co. Shout out to our boy DJ. And, yeah, that's it, man. What you got, bro?
Go Dolphins on Thursday. I love y'all. But as far as Song of the Week, what you got before we get up out of here?
I got Forget Me Nots. Send in Forget Me Nots.
I got Wolfpack.
Ooh, okay.
From Jimmy Hart. My first wrestling related Song of the Week. So I had to throw that out there.
Okay, I see you.
Wolfpack's back. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Gresh Unleashed podcast. We will basically be doing this format going forward. We will try our best to stay under the hour mark. This one, we had a lot to talk about this week, but next week it'll likely be shorter because a lot of stuff we won't have to talk about, like a pay-per-view and none of that stuff. But make sure you guys keep it locked on all social medias. Gresh Unleashed, Gresh Unleashed Pod on YouTube, www.gressunleashed.com for the audio format. You can scan that QR code if you're watching over on the YouTube or Twitch or Facebook. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us all evening long. Hopefully you guys get you some sleep, get you some rest. Hopefully it's a better week for the rest of the week. Tomorrow is Wednesday, hump day. Get in there, do your thing, and do right and be right. It is okay to be a good person without asking for benefits, because that is the basic necessity. But with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets, and remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out. We love y'all. Y'all be crazy.
Bedtime.